Peter, I gotta get you like this summer vibes playlist that I have that's just like all summer jazz that
Let's
has
do
like
it.
a little bit of electronic in it. I
Okay.
feel like you would enjoy that quite a bit.
You know I love all kinds of different music.
I actually don't know who that is. I'm looking them up right now.
They're a record label.
Monster Cat. Let's see. No,
While we're
I've
looking
never
up,
heard of them.
While we're looking up some tunes, we have Brian up here. Hey, Brian.
Fish.
Hey, good to see you guys. Just wanted to come up and say hello.
Thanks, Fish.
Appreciate it. Thanks for popping up, my man. How you doing today?
Hey, I got no complaints. I'm just working on a little code, writing some code today. So, yeah, just flip-flopping between the old jobs. So, having a good time.
I love it. Keeping busy. That's always great. Hey, Wood Doc, how are you?
Hello. How you guys doing?
Doing very well, thanks. How are you?
Doing well. So I just wanted to mention real quick, I brought along a friend or two, actually, in the crowd. So I was just wondering if one of you guys could just give a breakdown of, what we got going on, maybe what's new, just for people who don't know anything.
Okay, good question. Who wants to take that?
Well, we'll need to take turns because there's so much.
Yeah.
I'll start. Wood Doc, thanks for bringing your friends. You guys have a fine member of the EverRise community as a friend. Wood Doc's been here from the beginning. EverRise is a year old at this point. It's a decentralized token, which is built on 5 different blockchains. Most tokens exist only on one blockchain, maybe 2. But our developer, Suresh, built a bridging system where we can have access to liquidity pools in 5 different blockchains, which makes our system far less fragile than if our value were pegged to one particular blockchain. Now, we're not just going to let sit on our laurels with the token being what it is. The team is also building out several decentralized applications, or dApps, which are intended to make decentralized finance safer and more accessible for all. The first one that is free to use and that everybody should use if they're involved in DeFi for any length of time is a revoke dApp. We call it EverRevoke. You can go to everrise.com/revoke and connect your wallet and see if there are any outstanding permissions in your wallet from previous DeFi trading. Now what does that mean? Every time you interact with a DeFi protocol or an NFT, you have to give an approval metric to that contract so that it can actually pull assets out of your wallet. That's usually fine because that's the way things are meant to work, but there's no need to keep that approval lingering around for all eternity because that's what it will do. If there is a way for a developer to find a backdoor through that contract, that door leads directly to your wallet, and then they can take your funds at liberty and at length. So I think maybe my favorite dApp is EverRevoke because it's intended to make sure that all of us are safe no matter what affiliation we have with EverRise. It's just there for the entire public to use. There's also, lordy, there's so much. EverOwn is our perhaps flagship dApp. It's a smart contract locker whereby developers can put their actual contracts into a locker so that it can only be edited upon an affirmative vote from the community. And the contract can also store actual liquidity. Developers can put their protocol's kind of native coins into the contract. And again, if that liquidity needs to be moved around, let's say Volt Inu, who just locked their liquidity in EverOwn, let's say they needed access to funds in order to bridge 2 separate chains. Well, they would need the community's approval for that as well.
Could you touch upon why that's important?
Sure.
Why is it needed?
This is your favorite topic, I know, so I don't want to step on your toes, but the idea is the rules are still being made up in DeFi as we go along. And a lot of protocols have been very comfortable with the idea that once liquidity goes into the liquidity pool, which is what we as buyers of the protocol do, we put the money there. Some protocols think it's okay to take that money out and use it for other purposes at will. That seems to us to be obviously wrong and unsustainable and almost unethical, if not fully unethical. So when you put the liquidity behind a walled garden and say, look, the only way to get liquidity out of this is to, 1, sell your tokens, or 2, get a vote from the community, that seems to us to just be the way it should be. And EverRise is proud to be out here delivering solutions that are not just useful, but also kind of an ethical guideline for how the protocols that we're involving with should operate. So, Jason, I think it's still your pinned tweet, Jason, isn't it? Liquidity belongs to the holders, period.
Well, my pin tweet is liquidity. LP is not a developer's piggy bank, like I like to refer to it as, because in this space we're seeing, like, I'll be honest with you, the majority of projects out there, they're accessing LP and moving LP around for one reason or the other, and the majority of people that are in that project have got no clue it's happening, and the few people that do know it's happening are the ones that are calling them out. It will either get thrown away aside as FUD and not answered, or it will only be until that point that they address the actual movement of LP, and that's not the way it should be. You should be upfront with your community and basically explain why you need access to LP, what the purpose is for. There are legitimate reasons for developers having access to LP and certain functions of the contract. I mean, you touched upon EverOwn, our flagship DApp. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the functions within the smart contract, that can start and stop trading, for example, increase or decrease taxes, blacklisting functions that can single-handedly to start, selecting wallets that they don't want to have access to the smart contract anymore to trade. I mean, all of these things exist right now in what we call DeFi. And I guess it all comes down to what your thoughts of DeFi is, right? How much of DeFi is decentralized. And when I mean decentralized, in layman's terms, isn't controlled by a very select minority of people or a few people, especially a developer who's got keys to millions of dollars of people's money. They essentially have collected millions of dollars in some cases of people's money, and they've got the keys to it, and they can do with it what they wish, unless you demand a solution like EverOwn, which basically forces them to bring a case to their community and say, look, we need this for this and that and the other. And if they don't do that and they don't garnish the trust from their community is not in any way obliged to agree to unlock that liquidity. And I think this is something which, as the space matures, as more people get victims of rug pulls, of scams, of just nefarious individuals that claim to be developers that aren't trying to bring this space forward, we're going to see more and more people in the community rising up and demanding these types of solutions for governance. It's so important that LP is there so people can sell at a fair price, and not for misuse. And I'm a massive advocate of that. And I'll speak to anyone in every project. I'll go into any project space and say, you need to answer these questions. Just because you don't like to answer them, you still need to answer them. And it's not FUD for your community to be asking, what is this wallet doing? Selling, why is this LP being moved out into another wallet address? What are these cells that are on the chart? Where do they come from? These aren't FUD questions. These are people that we tell every single day to do your own research. If you're not able to do your own research because you're getting blocked off by team members in a project, that's a big red flag. And you shouldn't just listen to other people. You should listen to your gut. And if something doesn't seem right, you should look the other way and certainly go the other way, because, a lot of the time, common sense, and if it seems too good to be true in the real world, the chances are it's the same in DeFi, even more so in DeFi, where like your own decision making is paramount. Like you only have one chance to make that decision before everything could just get evaporated into dust. But anyway, I'm very passionate about LP, as you can tell.
As you should be, right? I mean, that's the whole point of DeFi. The whole point is that, well, it depends on who you ask, but in my view, one of decentralized finance's most effective innovations is that we can come together as communities and pool our assets in a space where we kind of believe in a common message, a common theme, and a common set of deliverables. So if our assets are just being siphoned off for whatever purpose, then that's too deep of an externality to make it any kind of interesting prospect for us as people. So EverRise is proud to not siphon or redirect any liquidity to any purpose other than promoting its own liquidity. We recently got rid of our our final tax that was external. There's no more external source, no more external destination for any funds that anybody puts into the liquidity pools.
I think we should like highlight that, Peter, that you just brought up, because like there will be people listening in that may not realize that the 5% buy and sell transaction tax doesn't go to the company in any shape and form now. Like that is completely a self-contained ecosystem that feeds within itself, feeds back the buyback, the Kraken, and that's massive. That's such a massive step that we've taken, and I feel that we should talk about that more often, because that's rare in this space, really rare. You name me another project that's done that, with their tokenomics, and I'll be interested in hearing. But yeah, sorry to cut in, Peter, but I just really want to kind of like hammer home that point that the ecosystem sustains itself and provides itself with those revenue back into the Kraken.
No, Jason, I think you're hitting the nail on the head, and I could talk about this for a while. If people want to continue this kind of conversation, we'll be discussing it at length in my spaces tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is midnight UTC. Hope to see a lot of you there. We could talk about this all day, but in case there are any other questions, do people want to raise their hands and come on up and see what else is going on with the protocol? I mean, we're here for you.
Please do.
Well, I'll say that whenever I was talking about my friend that's visiting, I did meant to mention that he is a technical guru and he loves all them technicalities and he can keep up with your conversation. And so it's funny that you guys are diving into it anyway, and I appreciate it. I love it. Thanks.
Oh, no problem. We appreciate it.
We just touched upon the surface though, right?
There's always so much. If your friends are technically inclined, they may have some thoughts on the bridge hack yesterday that happened. That's on a lot of people's minds. We have a bridge, and we believe it is secure. It is not a traditional bridge. One thing we like to highlight is that it does not mint and burn tokens extensively to get the tokens across the bridge. What happened last night with Nomad, though, was a different kind of thing altogether. It was not a mint and burn hack itself. It was simply, and I don't mean to laugh, it was just a clerical error. As far as I understand it, the devs were doing a routine upgrade, and they initialized the trusted root to be a null value. And that happens sometimes, that's fine, but they kind of left it there so that it was easily spoofed. And in this case, it had the side effect of auto-proving every message that people sent to the contract. So word got out that people could exploit the Nomad bridge, and then before you knew it, people on Discord were pulling out $3,000, $20,000 at a time. Some for good reasons, they're going to return it. Others, they're going to tornado cash it and be done with it. The funny thing about this bridge hack is that it's not unique to bridging. Like, people are going to say, oh, no bridge can be safe. Here's yet another bridge hack. That's not really what happened here. There wasn't anything specifically vulnerable about the bridging mechanism itself. It was just simply someone left the back door open.
Yeah. And it's really important to pay attention to audits and what audits are saying as well, because
isn't that crazy, Jason? It was there in the audit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was there in the audit, but also like in the past, I think with Rune as well, they had comments in the code where the developers actually put comments in the code saying, this function here could be potentially exploited as a comment, and that was in the code. So anyone looking through the code could see these like little tags on def comments that have been put there, and they can literally exploit these lines of code. But yeah, what happened with the hack, and I will use the term hack very loosely, with Nomad was purely just an oversight, maybe complacency. Audit report recommended an additional validation check be made, but they replied to that audit comment with, yeah, we don't really think our users will want to pay the extra gas for that. I'm glad to say that we do have many more validation checks on average, and we don't want to go into details with average, but it operates differently. But it's a very good reminder that A, listen to your audit reports, and B, don't be complacent in this space. It's an ever-evolving space, and people will take advantage of any gaps you give them. And unfortunately, we don't sit here and enjoy reading this type of news in any way, shape, or form. I mean, this is damaging to DeFi. Every time these articles come out, it doesn't paint the picture of DeFi very well. It certainly doesn't paint the picture of DeFi very safe. So it's in all of our interests that we work together, and projects come together and certainly take security very seriously. And I'm proud to say that Everbridge is a shining example of that.
I kind of want to interject here real quick. Obviously, when these things happen in the space, we see it as a team very quickly and discuss it. And obviously, the first question, rightfully so, is, are we vulnerable to something like this? So we asked immediately, and the answer is no. And Suresh gave 4 reasons why. And I think I would like to read them off just for transparency's sake. So directly from his mouth to your ears. 1, vault tokens can be withdrawn by the bridge contract only. 2, bridge contract function can be called by the owner of the bridge and not any random person. 3, more importantly, we take a signature on the source and validate it on the target, which no other bridges are doing. And 4, also the signature is included with a unique key generated on the back end. So, wanted to put that out there.
There you go. Have we got any hands up?
That was like pure mic drop right there, bro. Pure mic drop. And so,
I wish I could take credit for that one, but unfortunately I cannot. That is all Suresh. So
I'm giving it to him. Yeah, he gets the mic drop, even though he's not here. That's his. Nice.
That's all his. Exactly. No other requests though at the moment. So if you do have a question,
are we on YouTube, Jason? Do we have anything there?
Yeah, we do. We have the. I will answer this question the same way as I normally answer it. So why is EverRise not getting listed on any exchanges, or why is EverRise not on any exchanges, so to speak? Well, we are actually on exchanges. I can read them out to you. We're on MEXC. We're on Big One. We're on Bitmart. And we're obviously trading on all the dexes on all the 5 chains that we're on. So to say that, certainly our kind of outlook with exchanges is that we are open to discussions with exchanges, and we are talking with exchanges, but it's not a immediate priority right now to focus our efforts to try and get on an exchange. Like, in my opinion, and this is my opinion only, not necessarily the opinion of other people on the panel, you've only got the one chance to list on an exchange to make the best use of that, whether that be co-marketing, whether it be the market sentiment. Lots of factors go into it, not to mention normally the amount of liquidity and capital that you need to essentially do such a listing. So long story short, more exchanges will come for EverRise, and we're very, very happy with the exchanges we're on right now. But we are in absolutely no rush to jump on as many exchanges in the near future as possible, because that isn't a part of our growth strategy. And we are literally still focused on building out our roadmap. We want exchanges, like, I think you're going to say the word. You go ahead. You tell us what the phrase is, Pierre. Go on. I'll let you.
Well, I have the phrase. I'll say it. Exchanges are a symptom of and not a cause of a project's success. And you know what exchanges love? They love when the culture of DeFi is when exchange. Because you know what that does? It drives up the demand for listings, and so they can drive up the price, and so they can continue to extract value from you. So if you want projects that are going to extract value from DeFi by promising unsustainable exchange goals, then you should go find them. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to participate in all this screaming about how we're going to be on 75,000 exchanges, or even the biggest one, because we just don't know when that's going to happen. And it's not a priority significant enough for us to divert development funds to a listing, which probably wouldn't help anything at all. There is a certain small blast of exposure, but we're already getting that. We're here on Twitter. We're here every day doing our marketing. So, exchanges, I saw on Twitter, someone mentioned about centralized exchanges. He compared them to public restrooms. I don't like to use them. I don't like to stay in them any longer than I have to, but I'm glad that they're there. But it's not like we're trying to make our whole strategy anything about that. They will come. We're not going anywhere. And I will kind of answer a question that was asked in the EverRise TA channel just now on Telegram. Can EverRise survive the bear market? This was asked by Mr. Byrne. Mr. Byrne, we're going to be here for decades. We're going to be out here building. We're going to be out here delivering solutions for DeFi. We're going to be out here making products that people want to use and should use. I think your question, Mr. Byrne, is about the price of EverRise, which has nothing to do with us. We don't promote the price. We don't pump the price. The token itself belongs to the community. And so whether that goes through exciting times or significant bear times is, in my view, subject to deeper forces than any of us can control. The market's going to do what it does, and there's 50,000 people that hold EverRise, and they can make their own decisions. Whether the price will see a corresponding kind of, I don't know. We're just going to be here for a long time.
I mean, a good example. I mean, the thing is, like, if you look at like how exchanges and marketing affects like tokens in these market conditions, like EverRise will not just make it through this bear market, but it will make it through many, many more bear markets in the future as market cycles, certainly, continue to repeat themselves. I mean, if you look at, the amount of marketing effort and money that's been spent on, say, likes of crypto.com. And if anyone could tell me what the price of Crow token is right now, Crow coin from its all-time high, it's not always the biggest answer to correlation between spending on advertising and price go up. It's not always a direct correlation. And I can tell you now that you could throw lots of money at marketing and exchange listings in this market, and it just won't do anything, because I can tell you firsthand, Cadena, a coin that I love. I'm a massive fan of Cadena. I think a lot of people know that. That listed on Binance US, and guess what? It listed on Binance US, and it went up, and it went the same day. Within an hour, it went straight back down again. And that's it. That's its listing on Binance US. So, the accessibility is there. People can certainly get into the coin and find out about the coin and the tokens through exchanges. But again, smart decision making when it comes to exchanges and smart decision making when it comes to marketing, it all comes into one. And EverRise is setting itself up to last through multiple bear markets. We look for the long term. If you look at the devs and what they're building for the long term. What's coming, what's coming, and what's going to happen in the future. All of these things, which you'll see coming out on our roadmap.
Well said, Jay.
Let's go. Yes.
Tom, how are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to stop in and say hi to everybody and make sure everybody who's new over here knows that this is a real project that they should really take seriously. And I think you guys are doing an amazing job with everything, and you guys are staying. And it's just awesome to be part of this project. I love getting more rise, and I love being staked for 36 months. I'm gonna keep extending that as long as we can go. I just want to say cheers to all of you, and thanks for all the amazing work you guys are doing. It's just awesome. It's bringing DeFi into the light and doing it the right way. You guys are not giving in to things that some people want, these pumps and dumps, and I think it's been proven for so long that we're gonna make it, and you guys are doing awesome. So thank you.
Thank you, Dom. Also,
Thanks, Dom.
great picture yesterday. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. Anyone follow
Yes,
Dom,
we're on
you know
vacation.
what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. We're on vacation. We're gonna, celebrate my youngest 5th birthday tomorrow. So, my kids are all about Rise, and so am I. So it's all good. It was kind of a crappy picture, to be honest, but it is what it is.
I thought it was great, and I hope you and your family have a lovely vacation.
We are enjoying it for sure. We're up in Mackinac Island in Michigan, and loving it so far.
Very nice. Very, very nice. It looks like you're having a great time.
Sure are.
I love it. Well, enjoy, Dom. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for popping up and for the kind words.
Absolutely. I'm going to try to do this more often with you guys. So, I just need a little more courage once in a while.
You know what? Once you rip the Band-Aid off, you're gonna find that you'll have a lot more oomph to hit that request button and pop up and speak, because you're here all the time. Our daily spaces are very laid back. We just hang out, we talk. It's for the community, right? We're all in the same community. Whether you're a staff member, core team member, community member, we're all in the same community. We're all here for the same thing. So that goes for
Absolutely. That's why
everyone.
I'm here every day, and I love hearing you guys, and it's just awesome. It's been a great experience.
I love that. Thanks, Dom. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Will
Yep.
do. Thank you guys do as well.
Thank you.
I'm glad you brought that up too, Don. Being the staker, the 36-month stakers, in the building. Yep. What other
Let's go.
project? Yeah, let's go. Let's go. What other project, that's got, 63% of its quantity in tokens staked for almost 2 years? Come on. Let's go.
I
Yeah,
can't think
there's
of
no
one.
other that compares.
And that goes, it's deeper than the value of a token. People are staking their tokens for 36 months because they believe in the long-term vision that EverRise has. And more importantly, I think people are aware of the barriers to entry, to mass adoption, security, and safety being number one. We say it all the time. No one's going to feel safe, and no one's going to want to pull. And I'm talking about no coiners here. People who have never, ventured into this space, but no one's going to want to take their money out of a bank account and essentially be in control of their own funds if they know they're not safe, right? So, safety and security, priority number one. I don't care what anyone says. There is nothing more important, and there never will be anything more important. Awesome, you made this much money on an NFT today. Great, awesome. You're in the metaverse, and you went on a date. That's great. But you come back and your wallet is drained, and you have zero in there. That's all that's going to be on your mind. So always protect yourself, as Jen says. Make sure your DeFi hygiene is up to date. Use EverRevoke at least once a week. Just log on and check the permissions. I personally don't have any permissions. I don't see a reason to because I'm not an active trader. Rise isn't even enabled for me. It's the route to go is have zero entry to your wallet. Don't know how I went off on this tangent, but I did. I like to talk about EverRevoke a lot. Use EverRevoke. Talk about EverRevoke and spread the word.
There's no downside. That's why there's no downside for EverRevoke. It's just
That's
all
right.
makes sense. Everything about it. Any other questions that you see anyone in the Telegram or the Discord?
Yep. Yeah, I got one in Telegram from Sam J. Let me pull it up right quick. He says, "Can we talk more about what's coming soon and what's on?" Hello, who said that?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Can we talk more about what's coming soon and what's sort of on the horizon long term? Asks Sam. So coming soon, the publicly available information we have is that Suresh and the team are building EverLaunch, which is intended to be a full-stop, full-service project launchpad. That's going to be able, everything that EverRise currently offers, bridging, EverOwn, EverSwap, all of that will be available to projects from day one. And in my view, that's going to be a big help because, first of all, it's hard to sell projects on things when they have an ongoing stream. If a project launched 3 months ago, they may be more inclined to do things in-house. Perhaps it works, perhaps it doesn't. But if you can get in the door with projects before they even launch and say, here's every solution you're going to need so that you can focus on the innovation you're looking for. The thing about DeFi is it's going to make room for all kinds of different communities. Communities focused on sports, communities focused on healthcare, communities focused on music. And so a lot of the times these protocols are going to need to focus on those elements of community building, and they're going to want the infrastructure to be right there as a turnkey solution. So that's what EverLaunch aims to be. EverLaunch will also include with it another dApp called EverLock, which is quite similar to EverOwn. EverOwn also includes an MVP of EverLock within it. But again, it's just another system to lock liquidity itself and not just the contract, which is what EverOwn does.
We talk about that. Volt Enu's just done that recently.
Yeah, it's kind of they backdoored their way into EverLock a little bit. It's kind of like a low-key release of EverLock already, isn't it?
It is. We kind of came out of nowhere. We were like, oh wow, okay, liquidity's locked. So that's pretty awesome in that sense. But continue if you had further to say. Sorry, Peter.
Sure. Well, the question about what's coming long term, beyond what we can see on these publicly announced dApps is very exciting. Not only will we be building new things and new solutions, which are still too commercially sensitive to reveal, but also we're going to be looking for mainstream applications of existing dApps. Like, there's no reason EverOwn needs to stop at a smart contract locker. In my view, EverOwn could secure any set of digital assets whereby permission is needed from counterparties to unlock those assets. So if you think about traditional finance, you can think about things like trust, escrow, probate. As long as I'm on the team, I'm going to be trying to find ways to sell established companies on new solutions for their products. And I think this is the way the world is going. And the more we can find solutions, not just for DeFi protocols, but for every entity that exists, we'll be in a good spot. Suresh did once tease a bit of a blockchain idea. It's a little bit too nebulous right now for me to say anything more. But he did admit that he and Ben are builders at heart. And if the mountain is there, they are going to have a hard time not climbing it. I don't have the details on that, but it was said in our Telegram on our birthday, so I figured I would pass that along.
Absolutely. And there are some upcoming things which we're excited about, which we're just not ready to tell you about just yet. Some initiatives that we're doing with others as well. But you just have to keep an eye on the Twitter feed. That's all I can say, as you know, we'll be pushing out those graphics. And you know, I just want to address the comment in the YouTube saying that you guys have been working so hard and for no community and change your marketing. You know, we're blown away by the community, to be honest with you, considering the market that we've gone through and we are still in right now. Our community has been absolutely fortified. You know, whereas earlier this year when people were screaming and thinking that Bitcoin was going to go to zero and everything, all the crypto was going to go to zero with it, our community was out there reassuring each other and just being positive in a real nice way, really nice, friendly atmosphere, no toxicity. Because I think they understand the way the markets work. They understand the underpinning value of our token is certainly held within the native coins, and that during these market cycles, it's volatile and things go down sometimes as much as they go up. So I think that's a bit of an unfair comment to Mr. Crypto King, but I will address it. And I do think our community, I wouldn't change our community in the slightest. And it's only going to grow and grow and grow. More people are going to find out about EverRise. More people are going to jump into the Telegram and our Discord, and they're going to find the information that they're after. And so I don't agree with that at all. I think the community is top notch, and it's only going to get stronger as we move forward.
All certified and blue checks, by the way. Discord, Twitter, everywhere. Blue checks across the board.
Yeah, we exist. We absolutely exist. You can come find us.
We are not bots. No bots here.
We are not bots. The last man, what's going on?
How y'all doing?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
All right. I have a question. I don't know if y'all talked about it or not. It's about security. About that $190 million hack they had because of the bridging or whatnot. And I know y'all do bridging on different cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. I was wondering, I know y'all had experienced a hack from y'all liquidity pool, and y'all had corrected it with y'all new contract or whatever and stuff. And I was just wondering, how are y'all going about like keeping the security? Are y'all always doing like I don't know how to call it. Y'all get other companies to check y'all code, line of code. And I was wondering, how many have y'all done, and are y'all in the process of getting more done to it? You know, because I'm understanding like when we stake our EverRise, that it stays in our wallet even though we're staking on y'all. I don't know if I have that right, but I was wondering just about security concerns and stuff like that. How are y'all keeping focused?
Good question. We did touch upon it earlier on in this actual AMA, but obviously TJ actually answered it really, really well. Our bridge is different to a lot of other bridges out there. It's pretty unique. It's pretty novel in the way it's built and the way it validates transactions and the way that the initiating the target destination and the initiating transaction both have a special signature key that goes through all of the validation checks. TJ did read out 4 things that Suresh did say. to us. If you've got that again, feel free to read it out just for the gentleman that's come up.
Yeah. So number one, the vault tokens, which are essentially all the tokens in the EverRise ecosystem, can only be withdrawn by the bridge contract. The bridge contract function can only be called by the owner of the bridge and not a random person. More importantly, we take a signature on the source and validate it on the target chain. On the target, which none of the other bridges are doing. And also the signature is included with a unique key generated on the back end.
There you have it.
Just want to reassure you that obviously when we do hear of an exploit or a vulnerability or a hack, one of the first things that we do is we find out what the cause of that was, and we compare it to the technology that we're working on. And I can safely say that the type of vulnerability that was certainly discovered with Nomad couldn't have happened with Average. And again, we do reassess the way that we build and have security procedures in place, and we do have third parties that we work with to audit our code, and essentially rest assured knowing that we are very much ear to the ground when it comes to what's happening in the wider space.
Right. There was the good question about kind of ongoing security in there as well, last man, and I think it's very important. Hacks are sort of an inevitability in the crypto space. Like Polygon itself was hacked for 600-700 million at one point. These things are something we always have to stay vigilant for, and it does go beyond just an audit. Our version 3 contract was audited by Chain Salting, the same company that audited ApeCoin and many other successful projects. But Suresh and Ben and the rest of the team are doing constant internal checks whenever they discover of these new vulnerabilities to say, like, where can we do better? One unfortunate thing about the Nomad hack is that a few months ago, they said, we are secure, period. We would never say something like that. No. We do our best to be secure, but we understand that everybody and everything always has room for improvement. And unfortunately, we've got some geniuses on our team, but there are some geniuses who are motivated by bad factions and bad actions and looking for exploits. So we're never going to be satisfied with our current level of security. We're always going to try to make it stronger, in addition to building out new solutions. So everything in the space is a learning opportunity, and I know that our team takes every moment to heart. So nothing is certain, but we can do our very best. And down the line, we'll be secure. Not to say we aren't now, but it's a constant evolution. And you never want to rest on your laurels.
Never be complacent in this space, ever.
Thank you. That's all I had. Thank y'all for answering my questions.
Thank you for the question.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, man.
No other hands raised on Twitter Spaces. Do we have anything on YouTube or Discord or Telegram or anywhere else?
Let's see.
Staking Pappy did put in a question regarding the stakes, about merging stakes. The short answer to that is the devs are aware of this. However, it's not going to be something they're going to look at in the near future, and any solution surrounding that will probably come, further down the line. I can't commit to any timings on that or on the roadmap. We've got big priorities to deal with right now with getting our DApps out there. But any quality of life changes and improvements to the rest of the DApps will come over time. But I know that yourself and others have expressed that. I can't say much more than that, other than that we are aware, and I would say that, just keep up to date with what news and announcements we have around that as time goes by.
Peter, anything on Discord?
No, not a thing. Just a little bit more musing on summer playlists, but nothing about the
All right, well, there are no other hands raised here. We will be here for a little bit longer. While we're waiting, I will fill the air with news. We mentioned it earlier on, but we have Battle of the dApps on August 15th. Peter will be representing EverRise. and will be taking us to war, if you will.
I need everybody there because community voting is 1/3 of the formula. What it's going to be, it's a full-on competition. We're in the semifinals against 2 other projects. If we win that round, we go on to the finals against 2 other projects that would have won their own semifinals. There's going to be 2 judges from BSC News there, and they each get 1 vote, and then the Twitter people get 1 vote as well as a whole. So I need every single Rise Army, Riser, Rise holder to be there, show support, show up in numbers, and let's get that voting over the finish line, because we need that support. And we're going to battle with 6 dApps. I'm not sure if any of these other projects have any dApps, but they seem like quality projects.
Well, we're feeling good. We're feeling good about it, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're totally fine, but whether they're technically dApps or not, I'm not sure. But so we've got 6 and 3 more on the way. So please come through on August 15th.
Yep. And not to mention also, if you haven't already mentioned it, we've got the Certic AMA coming up at the end of this week on Friday also. We're very much looking forward to that. I know TJ is looking forward to asking some questions in there. But Certic have been all over our feed lately, TJ. They've been commenting, tweeting, tagging us.
Let's take a step back as to why they're all over our feed. And the answer is because of our community.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere on Twitter, as you know, maybe my Twitter circle is smaller, I don't know, but it doesn't matter which influencer is posting, which protocol is, well, not protocols, we don't chill on other protocols, but, and I even hate to use that word, the word is educate, my apologies. However, that said, we're everywhere. I don't see a post without an EverRise graphic in the comments. We are just everywhere, and we don't say buy EverRise. I never see that, and I never want to see that. What I see is EverRise has released EverOwn. This is what it does. EverRise has released EverBridge. This is why it's safer. I see education. Education is paramount in DeFi. And, I say it every single day, and I will not stop saying it, but we are beyond grateful to have the community that we have. Mature, level-headed, intelligent people. Period.
Absolutely, very intelligent people that spend time in their day to kind of go the extra mile to help others in the community learn and understand the way the ecosystem works. And certainly people that we've got in the Discord that actually break down like to the fraction of a percent, things like the staking rewards and how much staking rewards have been distributed since the lab came out. And I'm like, wow, people are actually going to these lengths to actually compile data, real data that they can share with other members of the community. And like this sort of stuff is what makes the experience of being a community member at EverRise just so diverse. Just the amount of people that we have here with such a high degree of understanding and knowledge.
Let me point folks specifically to these resources. If you join the Discord, hunt out the channel called Discussions within the Discord channel. That's where one of our valued community members posts wallets, research, statistics on staking, and also Titan himself posted a list of all active team wallets and exchange wallets. So if you like to do your own research and get lost in the blockchain, check out the Discord Discussions channel. Also, if you like to monitor the reserve liquidity pool, also known as the Krakens, join the Telegram channel created by Brian, also known as YSFish. It's called Kraken Watch. That channel is posted in the EverRise main chat Telegram as a pinned message. Go check that out so you can monitor exactly what we do with our reserve liquidity. We don't do anything with it, candidly. It's just a contractual function that happens over time. But you can see how it's going and see where the rewards are going and how they're performing.
Things happen as time goes by, right?
They surely do.
They got a funny way of doing that.
Do they ever? That said, I don't see any other requests. I don't know if there's anything else on YouTube or Discord, but if there is not, I think we will wrap it up for the day as we are approaching 3 o'clock.
I think we're good, CJ. I do. And I want to say thank you to the people that have come up and asked the questions. I mean, because like last man's came up and asked the question about security. Others in the audience maybe ask or thinking the same thing. And it takes a lot of courage to come up sometimes and speak on a stage of somewhat. So thank you to everyone that's come up. And we do encourage as many people to come up and have a chat with us. We're a friendly, fun bunch of people, and we enjoy answering questions with the community members. So thank you so much.
Well said, Jay. I do want to thank everyone who popped up to ask a question today, everyone who did join us as a listener or watched on YouTube. Thank you very much. Jen, Jason, Peter, as always, thank you for being up here with me. And without further ado, I think we will let everyone carry on with their day, and we will be back here at 2 o'clock Eastern tomorrow.
Have a great one, guys.
Bye.
Shout out to EverRise Eats in the audience there. Great work, man. Keep it up. Take care.
Bye, guys. Take
Love
care.
you.
Jen, you want to close this out with your playlist or what? Oh, she's gone. Well, have a good one, guys.